little bit late. Ansh Gupta is our youth president of Shooting Stars Foundation, and he's won a number of hackathons. So, he's more than eligible to run this hackathon. Thank you, Ansh.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
on to the next event. Meghna, so again, before we start the event, I think a few speakers did not arrive before. So I want to, can all of you please come again, 90 seconds on your video. So our speakers, our dear speakers will know you guys are real.
Yeah.
Once more, I'm not taking a photo this time. I've taken it already. So, so we have 90 people on the screen. So it'll be very nice to say hi to everybody. All our speakers with the pink background there, the adult speakers with the pink background, say hi to them. Oh my God, that's a number of, yeah. I was asking Ange, how do I append the country? There's so many countries here. Hi, everybody. Oh, Emmanuel, I love your hair. Okay, nice. So Sherry, okay. Few more videos, please. There you go. Okay, thanks everybody. On to Meghna.
Hi everyone. So just a quick introduction about me. My name is Meghna. I am a incoming senior in high school as well in California, and I'm just helping run this hackathon because I really believe in this Shooting Stars Foundation mission. So yeah, that's why I'm here. So I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to our Women in Tech panel. Thank you so much, panelists, once again for your time, and thank you participants for tuning into this amazing opportunity. So basically, I am going to give a quick introduction of the panelists, and then they will explain a lot better than I can who they are and what they do. So first, we have Ayla Gzit, who is the Chiron Training and Knowledge Manager, where she designs and creates online and on-site training modules, as well as certifications for Chiron customers and partners globally. She believes sharing knowledge is a key to personal success. With over 15 years of experience, her mission is to help people learn at least one new thing every day. Ayla, please feel free to explain more.
Hi, everyone. First of all, it's great to be here and see all of you and your ambition and your desire to enter the technology world. So it's great. If I want to explain a little bit more about myself in just one sentence, basically, I believe that the power of people is whatever it is that they know, and they will be able to use that power if they share this knowledge. So events like this is a great opportunity for you to share your knowledge with more girls like you and to win the hackathon. I want to wish you all best of luck in the hackathon.
Wonderful. So our next panelist is Soumya Narasimhan. Soumya is the Senior Engineering Manager at a prominent tech company. Prior to this, she had worked in Intel as a lead manager. She has a vast experience in wireless communication algorithms and architecture development, as well as in-depth knowledge in DSP architecture development and developing DSP firmware. An extremely sharp and intelligent lady whose work ethic inspires everyone around her. Soumya, please take it away. I think you're still muted.
Yeah,
okay.
Now I'm able to unmute. Thank you, Meghna. There was a tech glitch here. Hi, folks. It's a great opportunity to be here in front of all of you young women. It's so inspiring to see you all. In fact, we are more than happy. We actually look forward to having all of you in the tech area. We'll talk more about it. Thank you, Shooting Stars and Lata, for this opportunity. So I've been in this industry for over 20 years, gone through the different facets of coming up in the ladder, being probably the minority in the industry. So it's a great experience, and I think tech is the way, is the future. So I really hope all of you get inspired after this panel. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So our third woman in tech panelist is Hema Sundaram. She is the head of enterprise data analytics and business intelligence at Portland General Electric. Along with 20 plus years of experience in data and analytics, she has worked as a consultant in Infosys and across America, Europe, and the Middle East. Hema's accomplishments include senior manager at Edison, managing Hadoop analytics, and much more. She is an extremely innovative and passionate leader whose core focus is on value creation. Please feel free to expand.
Sure thing. It's such a pleasure to see so many budding scientists, budding engineers, budding future leaders of this, not just our nation, but the world. So I'm going to be learning a lot from you through this hackathon. And I want to thank Shooting Stars, Lata, Meghna, and my peers here who are on this call, because it's such a great opportunity. Wish we had such opportunities when we were growing up. So thank you. Looking forward to talking to you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay. So last but not least, we have Preeti Padmanabhan, who is the head of platform product management at Freshworks. She is a strategic problem solver and connector who brings teams together to create exponential value for companies, nonprofits, and communities. Over the past 20 years, she has served in various nonprofit boards focused on economic empowerment, entrepreneurship, women, children, and education. She recently won the 2021 Silicon Valley Business Journal Woman of Influence Award. Preeti, please. Oh, she's not able to unmute. Oh no. 1 second.
Yes, thank you so much, Meghna.
Okay, no problem.
This is amazing to see so many women, young, aspiring women in tech. So I'm really excited to be here like everybody else. And a couple of things that I want to share is that if you set your mind to something, you can certainly achieve it when you are passionate and you put your focus and drive. And also while you're doing it, make sure you take people along with you. That would be my couple of strategies. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, so that is the end of the introduction. Thank you once again. It's amazing to see how much you all have accomplished. So my first question is, how did you actually get started in tech, Hema?
So I started my education in electrical engineering and computer science. I got admission in both medicine and engineering, and I chose engineering. My mom is my inspiration. She got married when she graduated from her 9th grade. But she's such a smart woman, and learns to solve issues that are pertinent to day-to-day life. So we used to live in an apartment complex where, every day the motor has to run to get the water up to the tank, and then the water comes down, right? So that's simple process. And so this motor will fail every Saturday, or on days where you need water first thing in the morning, the water stops. And then the electrician has to come, water doesn't flow. So my mom decided that she's going to learn how to fix this because she got tired of waiting for this person. And then she learned, just a 9th grade person. But then she taught me about DC motor, torque, rotor, coil, copper coil when I was like first grade, first standard, second standard, etc. Barely 6 years old. So she also taught me to never give up. So mud used to go into this pipe and then the water completely clogged. So she used to go take care of things from the top of the terrace to bottom all the way, and everyone in the complex used to admire her and wait for her to come fix the problem. So she taught me about problem solving, about never to give up, and also interest into physics. That's how I started my career. My mom is my inspiration.
That's so sweet. How about you, Ayla?
Wow, that was a great story, Hema. So basically, as a high school student, I did very well and I had very good grades, especially in the math department. And after I wanted to search for a first degree, I thought to myself, this is an opportunity I really have to use. So this is for me, to all of you, use the opportunity given to you. So since my grades were really good, I was able to apply to a degree in electrical engineering. And that's exactly what I did. So everyone around me was mostly men. We were 3 girls out of 100 students, and that kind of walked along with me throughout the years. And I'm really hoping for your generation, the story will be different and there will be a lot more women in the tech areas, in electrical engineering, communication engineering, any other technical areas, of course, coding, computer science, and so on. So that's how I started, by seizing the opportunity.
Wonderful. How about you, Preeti?
So I actually got started in tech when I was in 8th grade. So about in my early teens. And when I first started coding or got introduced to coding, I got so inspired and excited about the prospect of making such a big impact with such a small, such a small screen in front of me. So that is how, and I think I'm very fortunate that everybody around me was supportive of that path, even though in those 70s and 80s, it was not a very active choice, right? You were not looking at tech careers at that time. It was a little early. So that is how I got started.
Wonderful. Soumya, what about you?
Yeah, thanks, Meghna, for the unmute. So when I started, I always wanted to actually go into medicine. I wanted to have a career as a doctor. I thought, oh, engineering is probably not for me, even though I had like wonderful grades in math and physics and chem, right? But then I finally decided, okay, probably I let me give a try on engineering. And I started off, I always had this fear of coding, and I thought, man, it seems like I have to overcome it. So when I started my undergrad, I actually took some courses, especially, in college and outside, just to overcome the fear. And once I started that, the confidence came up, and then I realized that this is probably one of the places I will really do well, and I enjoy doing well. And that's how I started in the tech area.
Wonderful. Okay, so so when you started out, and even throughout your career, what are some challenges or stereotypes that you faced or see in the technology industry, Preeti?
Yeah, I'll share a quick story. I was hired as a product manager. As I was working as a software engineer, I was able to get towards product management roles, where you both manage the team that is running the technology, as well as you're able to manage the marketing and several other angles to launch a business. Interestingly, I was the first woman to be hired into this team of 8 to 10 other product managers in this company. What happened was, whenever I used to start sharing an idea or talking, everybody would talk on me, talk over, just not even pay attention. And it would be the case that even if I set up the meeting and I invited everybody to share my agenda, I would still get talked over. And there was a moment, that I was like so mad that I said, "Let me talk," and I just put my foot down and I just shared what I had to share. Right. So that was something like that was a challenge, and it happens at times. Not, sometimes it can also happen because they're just not aware of what they're doing. It's not that they're doing it out of purpose, but just to make sure that your voice is heard. It's that I recognized very early on that I need to make sure that I express my voice at the table.
Wonderful. Soumya, do you have anything to add to that?
Sure. I think, just to what Preeti said, this is pretty much an unconscious bias that kicks in because it's an industry or a people surrounding you are more male. It's a gender unconscious bias. So when you actually make a call or you try to answer or, make a point, sometimes it gets drowned. In addition to that, I don't know if many of you have heard there's this imposter syndrome that I would say 50% of the women in the tech industry, most of them have it at the beginning of the career, right? Then we figure out how to come out of it. But this is something you need to look forward to. This is one of the stereotypes. You feel you're never good enough for the job. You kind of self-doubt because you're being asked those questions. You're being, the trust that needs to form takes time. But during this time, the key thing is to not self-doubt, have immense confidence in yourself, and present yourself that way, right? And even if there's anything wrong, don't be sorry about it. You can just correct it. So these are some of the stereotypes you typically have to overcome.
Wonderful. So sort of adding on to that question, what helped you or can help others cope up with these challenges or stereotypes, Violet?
So basically, to add to my great colleagues here, at the beginning when I started working in this very manly group, I faced some cultural differences in terms of areas of interest. So the one thing that I decided very early on is that I'm going to find my way to have the same interest area as my colleagues, as my men colleagues. And I literally found myself watching football at some point to be able to make a conversation. Now, some days it was more interesting for me. I mean, for example, today with the Olympics going on, it's very easy to make a conversation because everybody can find the sports that you like. But yes, sometimes I forced myself to be interested in something that we will be able to raise a conversation, just to start the relationship with my man's colleague. And it really worked. And it actually allowed me to enter the group. And once I entered the group, I was able to just create conversation on other topics that I found interesting. So yes, sometimes I had to work harder to enter that friends group other than the just colleagues group. And it works. So the effort was worth it.
Wonderful. Yeah. So Hema, what do you think about that?
Well, I'm on the other side of the spectrum. I, from the early childhood, based on the upbringing or whatnot, I speak up. So the impression that I was leaving on people that I did not realize for a longer time was Hema is aggressive when you speak up, and when you speak for a good cause. They expect you to be poised and calm, speak less volume, which means lower number of words, and then there is no passion. What the heck? I love to live. I'm aggressive like anyone else, but it is perceived as something else. So perception is something that that I'm going to ask my friends and peers here. You cannot change perception, but you can listen to feedback. To listen to feedback that continues and considers, and learn to give feedback and receive feedback at the same time. So if it is your men peers, learn to give it to them. How you say it, just say it, and then receive it also. It's up to you to decide whether you want to follow that or not. And another thing I want to leave you with is, this is a rat race. You're entering into the technology area where things are changing by the second. So to keep up with the race, you need to learn. You need to learn every second, every minute. Otherwise, you're outdated. But information is available in abundance. So where do you start? I started focusing on from customer all the way out. Whatever you need to bring the best to your customers, to your parents, to your society, to your community, put them front and center, and then start off from there and learn everything that you need to do to serve them better. Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay, so my next question is, what is something that you learned after you started working in the tech industry that you wish that you knew before you started? Preeti.
So actually, this is something not just for the tech industry, but anybody who is pursuing their careers. What I realized a little late, maybe like 7-8 years into my career, is that I have to get a mentor. not just one, but multiple mentors who can guide me on different career paths, who can guide me on how they overcome the challenges that they've faced. Because initially, when I was a software engineer and I was changing different roles in the company that I was working, I was having a lot of fun. I was really enjoying. But what I saw was I was not moving forward in my career. And there was something else that I had to learn, to discover. And so when I formed a mentorship circle with a few mentors that I could go and ask, and then I was able to then figure out okay, these are the things that I'm not doing. I'm not talking about all the great work I'm doing to everybody else. So that is a great thing that changed the trajectory of my career.
Wonderful. Soumya, what do you think?
So, one of the things I felt is, you need to you really need to find a champion for yourself in the industry. So in the area that you're working in, it could be directly within your organization. It could be even outside organizations, but within the company. The reason is, that's one of the ways where you see the bigger picture. When you're actually working in a small task or a small feature, you tend to focus on that, deliver it, right? The view is pretty small. Whereas if you look at the view from 10,000 feet, that changes significantly. You are able to get what it takes to actually move up in your career. So I think, just to what Preeti said, right? Sometimes that view comes in either through mentors or through champions. And once you get those anchors in the industry, you are able to actually have a good career growth. Right. So it's just not necessarily that you have to be good in what you do. Yes, you have to be really good in what you do, show the passion, but that alone is not enough to move yourself up in the industry. And you really, especially as a woman, you have to find the anchor, the champion, and the mentor for you to actually move on.
Wonderful. Ayla, Hema, anything to add to that?
Yes, absolutely. I think that you should aim high, find someone who achieved what it is that you're trying to get to, and then communicate with them. Be bold, approach them. If you want to be a software engineer at some company, go to LinkedIn, find someone who's already doing that, and contact her or him. It doesn't matter. Hi, my name is Ayelet. I was wondering if we can talk about what it is that you do and what was your journey to get there. That will help you set up the goals for your journey. And people love talking about themselves, so you will most likely get yes and acceptance to such invites. So as my previous speakers said, surround yourself with successful people that will help you be successful on your own.
I want to let the students know that there is a model called PI model. P stands for performance, I stands for image, and E stands for exposure. So if you are not performing at 100%, 150% of what is expected of you, you're not even at the table for any kind of discussion. You're out, you're out. The image is something that you carry for yourself based on your beliefs. It's not just wearing good clothes. Clothes is very important. What you wear is very important. What you stand for is equally important as well. The last one is the exposure. So the performance part of it is only 20% of that pie. The image part of it is another 50% of the pie. And then the 30% is exposure. That exposure you get through mentorship. That exposure is, by adding yourself to the professional bodies, to stand up for what you believe in, to be able to speak up, and being in the right place at the right time, and being able to speak up. So look up on this PI model. That has worked for me. That's what I follow even today. Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay, so my next question is, why do you think we need more women in the tech industry? Ayelet.
So first of all, why not? I mean, we are over 50% of the population. We should be over 50% everywhere. So my first answer to that is why not? if I want to dive into the specific advantages that a team that has women brings to the table, I think it's the vibe, if I can say so like this. It's that sense of communication that I believe women tend to do more better than men. I do have to say that it's very hard for me to point out why adding women to a team is good, because then I have to point out the differences, and the entire idea and concept that we're trying to embrace is that there are no differences. So if I do have to point out, I think it's the balance. In everything in life, you have to have balance. And when a group has a ratio of the of the world of 50% women or more, then the balance is better. And when the team is more balanced, it will be more successful.
Wonderful. So, Hema, what about you?
See, I don't see this as a binary game. I don't see this as a men, women, anyone else who's out there. I see this as, let's start off with this. A playground knows no gender. Playground doesn't know. It's up to the player to make it, to break it, to reach the next level. So don't succumb to these, how many ever gender types that are out there, and that you are one of them and that you're a minority. Be at the table, man. I mean, kick ass. I mean, go do what you want to do and get the best out of what you want to do. That's what I want to say. You are there for a reason, and your wishes, your aspirations, and your goals have to be so high and so rich, and you have to fight for it. No one's going to give it to you. When we were growing up, we got participatory certificate. Okay, like in any competition you go. So we got like happy. Okay, so I got a certificate, right? But that just undermines the person who got the first place and the second place, etc. Because I got a participatory certificate. But when you go to work, there is no participatory certificate. There's none. You do what you do and you get what you are supposed to get. So forget about the fact that you're a female or a male and all that. Go there. Thanks.
Wonderful. Okay. So sort of related to that, how do you stay motivated and empowered, Preeti?
Well, the technology industry is vast. There is something new happening every 2-3 years, and for us it's very easy to stay motivated. When I started working in tech, it was about networking and collaboration. Then it moved on to security because there was so much of hacking that was happening in the industry. Then it has moved to technologies like AI, ML, which we see that Hema is an expert in that area. So as you can see, in the last 20 years itself, there have been so many transitions in technology, and there is so much to do and so much to make an impact to the world with all these technologies. So to stay empowered, what I do is, one is I keep myself informed of these technology changes, and I attend a lot of events that where presenters who are experts in this technology are sharing about their experience, so then I can hear from them directly. And I also connect with these people, right? It's very important to meet with people regularly for virtual coffee, and after COVID with regular coffee or lunch, and then have those conversations. So that is how I stay, connected and empowered.
Wonderful. How about you, Soumya?
So in the area where I work, mainly wireless communications, right? We have like different connectivity technologies like cellular, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. There's a plethora of new technologies that's coming up every day. There are organizations that are like, working 5 years ahead to actually know what will come 10 years ahead. So we have to be, continuously on top of what is the next technology, what is coming up. So we actually go read, even at this stage, there's continuous learning. Every day we learn something or the other, right? So we completely go there, learn what are the new things, read papers, read tech courses, right? So take tech courses, like especially ML, right? When I grew up, there was no ML, but now that's the in thing. So we have to like go to Coursera, try to take the courses. Then we also have similar discussions in the workplace where we bring these new technologies, incorporate them. So even though it might not be directly in the line of what we do, but we try to incorporate these new things, ask the right questions, and we continuously learn. So that's what keeps us motivated, right? There's so many things out there that I don't know, and the passion to go and learn those just keeps us going. And I feel empowered thanks to the industry, thanks to my colleagues where I work. It's amazing the opportunity that they give and the exposure that I get, right? If all that falls in place, you're naturally empowered. That's what keeps me going.
Cool. That's amazing. Okay, so another question is, I think Hema might have already covered this a little bit, but what is your biggest inspiration, or who and what helped you become a leader? Isla.
Wow, that's a wonderful question. So I worked many years with a manager who really influenced me in the way he managed the team. We were a team of very different individuals in terms of motivation, knowledge, skills, and so on. And he was able to give each and every one of us exactly what we needed in order to excel, in order to succeed. And for many years, I looked at him and said, okay, that's what I want to be when I grow up. And it took a while until I gathered courage and left him as a manager to start my own journey. And today, people who know both of us and they ask me, what do you do? I say, oh, I became him. And that's really a big inspiration for me and a big motivation. So he was the inspiration for many years for me.
That's so inspiring. Okay. What about you, Preeti?
So for me, right from the beginning, from my childhood, my mother has been telling me that you can do anything you want in your life. And that has been my inside inspiration, right? I do have a lot of role models. I do have, like, Indra Nooyi is one role model that I love to always read about. But I find that personal inspiration, looking into myself, what do I really want to be in the next 5 years or next 3 years? Constantly reflecting on and very thoughtfully shaping my life has helped me to stay inspired. Because oftentimes what happens, you do start on a job, you work on it for 3-5 years, and you get bored, right? Because we are all smart people here, right? We get bored very easily because we get quickly gather that information and we become experts. And the way I found to be self-motivated is by constantly finding the next thing in the horizon and the next thing in the horizon, and then figuring out how to get to that next thing by finding the right people around me.
Cool. Soumya, Hema, anything to add?
Of course, Meghna, I will add something. I'll give two things. One, I hope that students have listened to Simon Sinek, one of the speakers, etc. He brings out the best in the leaders and all that. So he was once at a Microsoft conference, speaking to all their leaders there. And so when the conference ended, he came out and said, 100% of the time, 90% of their managers were talking about how to beat Apple. Great. And then he went to train the folks in Apple. So he went there, he gave a speech, etc. And then when he came out of the speech, at that conference there, he said, 100% of the time, 100% of the leaders were talking about how to solve health problems for our customers, how to solve, the next thing for their customers, etc. So one company is focused on how to beat another competitor here. The other company is trying to solve some of the problems that are out there. So the reason I say that is, the motivation is not going to come from outside. You can read about everyone, you can do all those things, but it has to start from within, and who you're trying to compete with and what you're trying to fight for, right? It has to be something bigger, broader. Otherwise, you're trying to compete. You're always catching up with the other person. You're not leading them. You're catching up. So that's one. The second one is Elon Musk. See what he's trying to do to colonize Mars. And few of us in different industries are trying on the sustainability goals to leave a cleaner planet. That motivates me. The most complex problem to solve to reduce the carbon footprint. That motivates me. A richer cause. Thank you.
Yeah, Soumya.
Yeah, so I think it's very funny when I heard Emma say that two groups of people, it's so apt, right? In my case, I just didn't inspire to become a leader. I think it was just the progression of what I wanted to do, what we wanted to solve for the company, the bigger picture, where we want to take it. I think it just happened to be a very natural thing. So instead of going and figuring out, okay, I want to be the leader, this is what I want, I just tend to look at what is the best for the consumers, what is the best for the customers. It's the Kool-Aid that we've all been drinking, and I think over the last decade it's gotten into our blood significantly. So I think that was the focus. It was not more about, okay, how do I grow, but how do I get there for the customers? What do we do something very unique? How do we solve this problem? And that critical thinking, that problem solving is immense. Actually, it gives you so much pleasure to do that problem solving. I don't think I will get so much pleasure when I become a VP of this, compared to me solving that kick-ass problem, right? So it's in my mind, it's always that kick-ass problem that I'm trying to solve than to go ahead and do this, right? So I think that's the growth, or that's the one that keeps me going. So it's not something that I just don't seek, but it's just there.
Wonderful. Okay, so my next question is, what do you believe is the future of tech, and what do you think women will play? What role do you think women will play in it? Islet.
So I think the future will have a lot of new technologies. The company that I work for today, Cryon, is involved with RPA, that stands for Robotic Process Automation. And that's an example for a new technology everyone in the crowd can start learning about and becoming an expert with. Every new technology also presents new skills and new roles. So today there is a job, RPA developer, that didn't exist a few years ago. So if you're catching the new technology on time, you're able to become a leader with this new technology. So I encourage everyone to go out there and learn the new technology that they are. You are welcome to join Cryon Academy. That's online, free, and start learning about the different roles that RPA offers. That goes the same with every other new technology. I think being able to be a beginner with a new technology really allows you to excel, to shine, and to lead more people after you. So that's my tip for you. Search the new technologies and become an expert with them.
Yes, that's so important. Before I move to the next panelist, I do want to say that if we have time at the end, panelists, you can type your questions in the chat, and we might be able to get to them at the very end. So Hema, what are your thoughts on the future of tech?
Man, it's going to be a combination of humans running machines, machines running humans, and machines suggesting what the humans should do, etc. It ranges. You can look at operational technologies that are sensors that are out there, to inside the office technologies, which is all these AI and machine learning. And I'll go back to again, there's a lot that's out there, and it's going to something new is going to come up. Deep learning, okay, so neural nets, okay, so there's something else that's going to keep coming. In pursuit of knowledge is good, with respect to what you want to do and with respect to who you want to serve. I mean, you could become like the 7-degree holder or an 8-degree holder that's out there. Okay, it's all about that context. And in that context of, hey, I'm in this industry, and this industry is so much customer focused, and in order to bring the best to that customer, what is it that I need to learn, and what is it that I need to learn fast, right? The timing, the time, the speed to execution, and that nimble learning comes into play along with the technology that you're trying to learn. It's a combination. Thank you.
Awesome. So, what do you think is something that girls should know before they consider technology as a career option? Sami.
So I want to, tell a story here, right? I think our responsibilities as women should not stop us. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Should not stop us from pursuing a career in the tech, right? And I think that is one of the key things I see, that we are not prepared for once we enter into the tech industry. I see so many people who graduate in the tech world, but the amount of women in the workforce is like 3%, 6% Asians, 3% African American. The percentage is very small because they start in the industry and they eventually give up, and they give up because of their roles and responsibilities, in their personal life. And this is something that I want all the girls to know, that no, you can have them, you can have both the areas. We just need to know how to balance it, how to move forward. You don't have to give up your actual career and your goals and your ambition for this, right? There was once a time, right, when I was pregnant with my first child, and the company where was asking me to move from San Diego to Oregon. I didn't like Oregon. It's very, very wet all the time. Sorry, Hema. But coming from California, I'm so spoiled with the sun. So you can say I'm a spoiled child. But then I started looking for another job within the same company with a different team, right? So I interviewed with the team, and the team was okay to extend an offer. I was 5 months pregnant, so I got all the offer, and then I talked to the manager and I said, "Hey, by the way, once I join, after 2-3 months, I'll have to go on maternity." There was a brief silence. Up till that point, the conversation was going. At that point, there was like 3 minute silence, as though someone has died. Like, I'm like, excuse me, are you there on the call? What's going on? So the manager was like taken aback. He didn't know how to respond, right? Like, and then apparently he went to the team and asked, how come none of you even found out? Like, the people who interviewed me, so you had to go back to the team and say, what is this? Like, so I want this to change. I want this situation to change. And I see a big change, a big moment that's happening in the industry for inclusive and diversity. And that's happening even in the current company I work for. And I think all this is a significant change, right? Emma, Preeti, and Islet, you can say the days when we were going through this motherhood to where we are right now, it's a huge jump. And please, there is more to come. So do not give up your career.
Wonderful. Okay, so Hema, I let something to add. No, okay. So my last question, I do think that everyone will have a unique insight on. It is what is some advice you have for our young women leaders entering the tech field? Hema.
Raise your hand. Don't hesitate. No one's going to give you a chance and come and say, Meghna, can you please state your opinion on something? They might say that outside the conference room, but inside, it's so don't wait. Don't wait till you know everything about everything before you sign up, apply for opportunities, etc. And then speak up and stand up for what you believe in, etc. Never give up. No one limits us from growing but us. Remember this. You are your best salesperson. You are your best person for motivation and or whatnot. I will leave you with two things. Perfect is the enemy of the good. So striving for perfection, that goalpost keeps moving, man. I mean, it keeps moving every day, every minute, every hour. Otherwise, you're stagnant. Remember that. So that's moving. So move along with your goalpost. And growth need not be linear. For the longest time, I was thinking, hey, from an application developer, I have to be an architect to do, a project management. And then you have to do people management and then bigger people and then more people and then more people and then more people. Like, no, 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 no. It's about what you do and how you do and what outcomes you're able to achieve. So activities over outcomes, growth need not be linear, and perfect is the enemy of the good, and raise your hand. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, some advice you have, Ayelet?
Yes, so I want to tell you, please embrace your failures. Failures is part of our way. And sometimes I'm coming from training world, and I deliver a lot of training, and I learn a lot about training methodologies. And one of the most popular training methodologies is to make your students fail, because after they fail, they will remember the good answer better. And that goes for life as well. It's okay to fail. All the good, most successful manager, millionaires, developers, you name it, failed throughout the way. And if I'm going back to the Olympics, so look at those athletes. It takes them so many failures before they reach the gold medal, right? And they just overcome it. And whenever they overcome an obstacle, they become stronger and they learn more. So I know many of my girl colleagues around me tell me, I'm not going to apply for that job because I tried once and failed. And I'm like, okay, so try again. And maybe you'll fail, and that's fine. Try again. So really embrace your failures and just keep going.
Yeah, that's super important. Thank you. Just before I move on, if you guys have any questions to the participants, you guys please put them in the chat. We might have a little bit of time at the end for the panel if you want to ask something to the panelists. Somya, what is your advice?
I would say keep trying. There's never a day you need to stop. Always keep your goals. It doesn't matter if you're not able to attain the goal immediately. Always make one step towards the goal every day, right? Try. Even if you fail, it's okay. Even if like you feel you're not able to, get there, that's fine. Slowly, you just crawl, take baby steps, you'll get there. So don't give up. Just keep trying every day.
Yeah. Preeti, last but not least, what is your advice?
Well, this has been amazing. I think I'm so excited hearing the advice from all the panelists. I'll just leave with a couple of things. One is believe in yourself, even if others are not showing the belief. When you believe in yourself, others will start believing in you. Right? That is very important. And do continuous learning. There's a book called Growth Mindset. I would highly recommend picking that up and seeing how you can actually learn and be the person you want to be.
Thank you. We'll definitely keep that in mind. So, to the participants, do you guys have any questions, last minute questions?
Meghna, there's a couple on the chat.
Yeah. So there is one person who said, as a teenager in Nigeria and Africa who didn't have opportunity to learn how to code early and has always wanted to learn how, where do I start from? Open question. Who wants to take it?
I think you can start with online courses, online training, online groups that you can join and gain confidence. Maybe a hackathon just like this one will give you an idea of the tools that you need to know. And going back to something I said before, find someone who achieved what it is that you want to achieve and interview them. What were the goals what were the steps that you did along the way? What do you recommend me to do? And I believe that your first step is asking this question. And now that it's asked publicly and out in the open, you will understand what are the next steps that you have to take. And best of luck with that.
Well, awesome. Okay. Lena asked, do you guys have any other book recommendations?
Oh yeah, quite a set of books that are here that I have around me that I can, Daring to Lead by Brené Brown, Becoming a Multiplier, and then Lead with the Heart. And so there are too many books. I'll put some of them in the, everything around me is about books. So I'll put some of them in the chat, we'll do that.
Okay, awesome. I love reading, so absolutely.
Anyone else?
for
Any other? I think that'll be
recommendations.
interesting. That'll be an interesting
Uh,
question to
uh,
all of them.
I added couple more besides the growth mindset. Couple more books are leadership and self-deception, and I'm okay, you're okay. Those 3 books are really critical, I find. And also I put in the link to my podcast because we review 2 books every month, so you get new book ideas every month through that.
Awesome.
So in
I
addition, right? Sorry, Meghna. In addition,
No, I
only
was just
one
gonna
more
say.
book that I think really changed. I don't know if you've read this Thinking Fast, Thinking Slow by Daniel Kahneman. That's a game changer, right? That completely tells you how the brain works. Now, it's not about it's not about leadership or anything, but it just tells you how you have to use your brain a different way in your day-to-day aspects, right? I think that will go a long way in whatever path you're picking, wherever you are, right, at whatever age. So I think that has been a really good book for me.
Awesome. Okay, I'm just gonna ask one more question. She says, this might be an odd question, but since it's all online, how do you manage your eye power? Oh, never mind. I didn't even read the entire question. Well, does anyone have an answer for that?
Every 1 hour, stop and look far out of the window or something like that. That way your eyes will get a rest and you'll be able to carry on.
Okay.
I'll add to that. So one of the things that I realized very early on is I need to have a practice, like a health routine, which combined exercise and meditation. So I meditate 1 to 2 times a day where I get to close my eyes and I rest my whole body. I would highly recommend that. And now I even started teaching how to do it. So highly recommend that for everyone to learn.
Wonderful. Okay, so that is all the questions I have for you guys, the panelists. I did have one question about the projects, what the judges will be looking for. So a lot of it is like creativity, right? How well you solve the problem, how creatively you solve that problem that you're targeting and you're trying to solve. Some of it is code, not too much because I know you guys are a lot of are very beginner. A lot of it is your presentation, right? How you pitch the idea, how you tell people, oh, you should buy our product or you should visit our website. So those are some things that the judges will look at when they are scoring your projects at the very end. Yeah. So if for the hackathon, a lot of people are on a wait list because we can only take so many teams. If you have not gotten an email about joining Discord or something like that, you have been placed on a wait list. So any future hackathons that we have, you will be able to join those. The hackathon next week, we already have so many teams, and they have a separate Discord to join. If you guys want to reach me or somewhere else, I can put my Discord tag in the chat. Yeah, so
Meghna, you want to round this up? Yeah, round this
yes, wrapping up.
tech panel.
Just quickly, Meghna, there is a question
sure.
here about, if you're shy, how do you open up your confidence? I just wanted to answer that. Shreya, I'm an extreme introvert. You will not believe this. I don't like to connect with people. You will not believe this one bit. You will not, because there are some things that you do for your job. Okay, so a fine blazer, whatever color coordination, like you don't show a particular color or, not a particular color. Okay, so you can do all of that. But you need to be able to speak up. If your voice is not heard, you heard it from Saumya, etc. So there are some things you don't have to go unnatural from your normal self, etc. But if you have to be with 10 people, you have to be able to have a good conversation, whether it is about sports, whether it is about anything else that you can think of. So learn to build that conversations. It'll build your confidence. It's a vicious loop. Okay, just like winning is contagious. Once you start having that conversation, you want to talk more, you want to listen more, you want to talk more again. So that's all. I just wanted to answer her question. Meghna, please.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so with that, we can wrap up our Women in Tech panel. Once again, thank you so much, Hema, Preeti, Ayala, and Soumya. It was super inspiring for me, and I'm sure a lot of the participants here. You guys are incredible. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us. And yeah, thank you so much for coming.
So Meghna, can I add a little bit to it?
Yes, of course.
Can you hear me? Okay. So where have you heard that 90 participants joined in the beginning and stayed till the end? Right? I mean, people were glued to this. I mean, this event just opened up, and it's just not for the girls and younger kids in the call. I think it's more for us. It's more for the adults to get more inspired with each other, right? So Meghna, you were such a lovely MC, very, very sweet hearing your voice.
Thank you so much.
And such interesting questions, right? I mean, I guess the speakers loved those questions, and you could see that. You could see the answers, flowing through. And Abhi Saxena, say hi if you're on the call. He mentored Meghna. Abhi Saxena from ZS, he mentored Meghna for the call. So thank you so much, Abhi, for your training.
Thank you.
She performed well. Your training was successful. Eyelet, you're a calm and charming personality, right? But you're so deep, like, who would imagine you were in robotics and AI? So I think what you prove is you can still be calm and composed, but garner that respect from everybody, right? So that I learned from you in this call. Preeti, such huge accomplishments, and basically your assertive nature. I mean, not only you proved your history, whatever accomplishments, great accomplishments you made, that is because of your assertiveness. But even in today's call, we kind of see that. And then when you told about meditation, oh my God, so that's the secret sauce, right? I mean, it's not what you see outside. It's not like and somebody told about Olympics. It's not about the success and the winning you see on the war ground. It's like what sweat and blood you did before, right? And that's meditation. I mean, that's one thing I will take from here. Soumya, your problem solving nature. That's the one thing I got from you, is your problem solving nature, your grit and determination, and the way you spoke, like, okay, what if I'm pregnant, right? I mean, it's like, what are you talking about? So that story definitely touched me. And Hema, oh my God, what a lovely storyteller, right? I mean, that all of you may agree with me, right? That the passion, the genuinity, right? I mean, that just comes across. I mean, that's one trait I think all of the 90 of us here have to learn. We can accomplish anything, we can kind of, go to the highest of our careers. We can be the best in, whatever, but that genuineness, to help others, to appreciate others very genuinely, right? That is something that I think some of us may not have it, but I sure want to learn it. And overall, what a wonderful way to start a Saturday morning. Really want to thank each and every one of you, for your amazing and valuable time. Time is money at this point, right? And for the audience, right? I think this was a wonderful opportunity for all of us. We didn't expect this. This has come out really well. I want each and every one of you, no matter whether you're a boy or a girl, I see a few boys here on the call, take one thing from this session, right? I mean, so many wonderful thought process came across. You don't have to do everything. Just take one thing, right? You have to promise that you will take one thing that resonated with you and say that you're going to follow that. In fact, we're going to send out a survey right after this call. I'll send it out in this chat. And you can tell what you liked about the call. You can mention names, but you will have to tell what is the one thing you're going to follow. And we're not going to come back and see if you're following or not, but that's one thing we really want to do. Once again, thank you, everybody, to all the speakers and the audience. Thank you.
Lata, you're awesome. All the best.